Greetings and welcome to another one of my recorded videos. Yes, something happened. Yep, this is one of those something happened videos. And you do see the privacy screen up, and I will read it to you. To protect virtual identities, the screen has been able to hide usernames and any other personal identifying virtual information. Such virtual information includes, but is not limited to, the following: usernames, avatars, faces, profiles, nudity, advertising, copyrighted music, acts of immorality, acts of harm, or predatory behavior. This is not a nice video slash stream. And as you can see, I do have the fair words, and YouTube size it is, but the fair use warning sticker in the bottom left hand corner. Um, yeah, so typically, when something happens and it involves a guy, and yes, in this something happens situation, it does involve a guy. So um, I am currently dealing with someone who, um, we met at one of those SL dating agencies that I've spoke quite a bit about, and at first we got on very well. We were talking, had things in common, we voiced, and he was so super excited that he wanted to take it further, like be exclusive. And I was like, well, this is a season moment for me. And I'm like, well, let's just see, kind of, where it goes, whatever. But and we exchanged communication methods outside of Second Life. And um, yeah, um, I would send messages, but he wasn't very responsive. And there's a time zone difference as well. I mean, granted, it's only 3 hours, but still, when I was on, he wasn't. And he had already admitted to me that he wasn't in SL much, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. So, things weren't kind of matching up. And, when we spoke on voice, he was like, well, I don't like speaking on voice. I'm like, oh, so, um, and um, he had said that he would be somewhere and he wasn't. Like, he didn't show up. And I was like, oh, okay. Um, and when he did log on, he seemed surprised that I was logged on. Like, oh, I thought you'd be sleeping. Like, no, I'm here. Just those kind of weird, weird things. So I get an IM, and he's like, good morning, and I'm like, morning. And he said, how are things going so far? And I'm like, all right. And at your end? And he said, so far, so good. And then, he tells me that he noticed that I'm having a an event today. And I'm like, mm-hmm. And he said, would you like to meet again one day soon? And I said, I'm not sure. I've got a busy week coming up, which I do, because I've got a lot of LRC stuff that I need to finish. I mean, I still haven't even finished planning the route for the September mainland mission. And I said, anyway, and he said, okay, well, thanks for letting me meet you. Sorry if I did something that changed your mind about me. And I just said, I just think that our time zones aren't good for each other. And he said, I respect your choice. At least we had a few fun times together. And I nodded in agreement. Like, you know, that that's what I would do if we were having the conversation face to face. Like, you know, nodded, a sincere nod in agreement. And it's like, well, good luck with your events today. And I nodded and said thank you. And then his typing starts to deteriorate. Like his letters starts getting mixed up and everything. And he said, I won't bug you again. Nod, nod, nod. And I'm like, you can still talk to me though? That's not bugging me. And he said, you could take your nods. I take offense at that. And I'm like, eh? And he nodded. And I said, I was agreeing with you that we had a few fun times, like you said. And he nodded. And then he said, it feels hurtful to me. And I said, I'm sorry, I did not mean to hurt you with an agreeable emote. And he said, why did you turn against me in this way, I wonder? You seemed so nice to me before. And I said, as I said, our time zones are different. And he said, okay, it seems kind of a cold thing to say. And I said, well, I can understand that, but it is the truth. When I'm on, you're usually not. Then he said, it's a valid reason. I respect that. And I said, thank you. Then he said, thanks for sharing with me. It just seems I got a bit too hopeful, so that's on me. Because I never talked to anyone on voice, it seems to me that it was extra special, but most people do it as routine. And I said, it's easy to get caught up in a moment. That's understandable. Then I said, we aren't talking on voice now, so it's not part of that routine, is it? And there was like no tone in my words when I said that. And he said, you don't have to be mean about it. And I said, how am I being mean? He said, you're dismissing my feelings about it. And I said, I never once said that I don't want to talk to you again. No, I am not dismissing your feelings about anything. And he said, you did. Anyhow, I want you to have a great day with your event. I wish you the best of luck with everything. Thanks for talking today. And I said, when you and I were on voice, to me it was extra special. But at the same time, you made it known that being on voice wasn't comfortable for you. Then he said, okay, you made your point. It's on me. I get it. And I said, I'm not blaming you. Then he says, I see your point. I just thought we were trying to give it a chance. And I said, which is why we exchange numbers outside of SL. And that's it. That's all I got. Um, I'm not sure if he's going to reply to that or anything, but there you go. So out of all that, I mean, yeah, I was calm. I was like, mm-hmm, yeah, because I could tell that he was trying to start a fight. Like, you know, um, but the emoted nod in agreement, what? How is that hurtful? I mean, I was agreeing with him. But how's that hurtful? What was it because it was an emote and it wasn't like words? I mean, oh, I don't know, but that's never happened before. Like, I've, I've never been told that a emoted nod is hurtful. Ah, I don't know. But anyway, so, oh yeah, and yeah, like a few lines after, into the conversation, his text colors changed. So he removed me from his list, and I'm just like, eh, I, I mean, I didn't say that we couldn't continue talking, or I didn't, tell him never to speak to me again or anything. It's just, well, if someone, like, if you really like somebody and if you really like their time and speaking with them and stuff, you're going to make more of an effort. Like, seriously, you're going to make more of an effort. But if he wasn't comfortable on voice, and, he had already admitted to me when, we spoke a couple of days ago that um, he wasn't on Second Life a lot. So I honestly do not see how I can have a consistent um, anything with someone who doesn't log on Second Life as much as me, or or even makes time to log on to Second Life more than they usually would if they, you know, like spending time and talking with someone. I just can't figure that out. So I didn't see any way further. So I just chalked it up to time zones, I guess. I mean, but I mean, if a person likes another person, they will make the time. They will rearrange things and make the effort and the time. I mean, you can't just say all these, wondrous and beautiful things to someone and then, you know, don't make a mm, don't make an effort, because then the other person will probably feel like me and be like, well, what is this? What is this? This is confusing. It's like, you know, what? So, yeah, it's a Sunday morning, and and that conversation happened, and yeah. So, um, mm, and I'm trying to figure out, like, well, could I have made the situation any better? No, because I can't force somebody to log on to Second Life, to, log on to SL more in order to, like, hang out with me. But, one would think that as much as he praised the fact that he liked me so much, then you would think that he would log on to Second Life more, and he would come to that decision on his own accord if it was true, and if he meant that he said that he was into me. Because that's how my brain is perceiving it all. That is absolutely how my brain is perceiving it all. And, you know, I based on that conversation, I don't think he gets that part of it. And I can't force somebody to think a certain way, and I can't force somebody to log on to Second Life more often. So it's a dead end. It's a dead end, and I'm just like, meh. Well, okay, you know, because the the questionable variable in that formula, my variable was consistent because, hey, I'm on SL quite a bit, as as most of us are, as most of us are. So it's not just me. And well, he's not. So you know, it's all up. It's all on him. If if you want to spend time with someone or talk with someone, more, then you have to change something. You have to accommodate that own. want or desire that you have. You can't just expect, things to continue and, grow if you're still doing the same thing that you've always done. So, sure, if he made an effort to, log on to SL more, or, at least the same times that I am, then okay, yeah. But he didn't. So, ain't nothing I can do about that. And, well, that's all I wanted to say. Yep, I just wanted to say that. And, yeah, so that will be it for this Sunday morning's recorded video. And the the second life lesson for this video would be that if someone is unable to adjust or expand their world to include more of your world, then it's better to um, carry on with your own orbit, because you can't like change someone else's orbit. You can't like change their path. I mean, they have to do it. They have to decide. And the only thing that you can do is like, well, I've expanded and I've given opportunity for you to include yourself in my world, you know, but if you haven't expanded yourself and, it's difficult for me to be in your world, then it's a stalemate, pointless. It takes two people. And if the other person isn't putting effort into it, then move on, because that's a red flag. And that's it for this video. And I will stream you later. Bye.